before I get into this review, I just want to give a shout out to Strange Spirit 1 for pointing out there's an extra page in One Piece Chapter 911. I don't know how I could have missed that, considering the fact it wasn't misleading at all, with the chapter end on page 17, and we go to the next page. And if I hadn't seen that comment, I probably wouldn't have known about the extra page, and I probably would have missed the whole point about one of the worst generation, another of the worst generation being affiliated with Kaido, or in this case, by the end of this chapter. So, if anything, this goes to show you, even after the chapter's over, Otis got a surprise or two. In this case, I don't think it was that much of a surprise, given the fact we all thought it was predictable that Hawkins would be affiliated with Kaido, given the fact what happened with Scratch Manipu. He was working under Kaido, and he lost communication with Zoe, which is kind of ironic because the same thing happened with Hawkins, but instead of actually reporting this to Kaido, he's ignoring it. So I'm not too sure if he's all in when it comes to like working on the Thousand Beast Kaido. So we'll see how that plays itself out. So first off, we start off with one of two cover pages, but in this case, it's a colourful spread, and you see each of the Straw Hats munching down on food that you see from Burger King. If you notice, everybody else is like freaking out. You got Luffy trying to feed the cat with a burger, and you got Nami watching her shopping. Usopp and Brook. Oh, Brook lost his head, which is hilarious. And then if you notice on the far right, on the far side, Rob is just chilling out, drinking a Coke. So it's no fucks given on her part. So I think that's going to be some type of foreshadowing that the crew is going to reunite, maybe before the end of the year. But at this rate, it's obvious Oda's stalling for Luffy, at least at this point, to like rejoin the crew, because number one, he's on his own on the island. This kind of confirms the different layouts. There's different of Wano. You've got the frozen island, which Kaido resides on. You've got the I guess the spring Japanese country of Wano. That's the main part. You kind of got the outskirts on the shore of Wano, so they're all connected. But this place, in this case, it's called Curry. So we come to find out what happened with Sanji and Co. And it comes to find out that once they got sent to the whirlpool, Sanji had the idea of taking Nami and Carrot with a skywalk, and Luffy gave him the assist by using his Gum Fruit. And if you notice, Sanji's like, Brook and Chopper are kind of like, so take us too, because they're all fruit users. And Sanji's like, no, you're too heavy. So that was kind of cold on Sanji's part, but it's typical Sanji when it comes to helping women out. But we don't come to find out where they end up. My guess is they ended up on the same island on a different side, or they ended up on a completely different island, separate to the one that Luffy's on. And there was a gag that Luffy said, "Oh, I forgot the reboot card." If that is true, and he did have the reboot card, this is a stalling technique by Oda to like keep him from the rest of the crew. And I think the reason why is because, and the reason why Oda decided to have animals on this island is because Luffy either is going to train with them, or he's going to get some inspiration for a new mode in Gear 4. Or maybe even Gear 5th, who knows. But I would not be surprised, because this already happened during the time skip, when he was training with the animals on Amazon Lily. We all know that that's how he came up with Power Man. I'm assuming that's how he came up with Snake Man too, how he's inspired by animals, with surprise at all. So, and by the end of this chapter, both animals, I guess, what is it, Kamiachio and you got the Babomaru, the baboon who was holding the katana. He was pretty much under control by the end of this chapter. So I would not be surprised if Luffy got some sort of training, but definitely something's going to amount to this. Anyway, it doesn't last long, because we come to find out 2 members of the Beast Pirates, and if they are, that's kind of disappointing, because they're running far at this point, because they spot the ship, and I guess they're chasing after Otama at this point on the other side of the island, because they have the pack of rice that, because by the end of this, Otama doesn't have enough for herself, so they stole the rice from her. So I guarantee Luffy's going to be pissed about that. Spot the ship, and then they see Luffy. They're trying to use the tranquilizer dart so they could take him back with him, and which would have been problems for Luffy. But I thought he was going to dodge this with the observation hockey. I guess he sensed this. Boom, Gum punch right to the face. Takes one of them down. We don't get to find out who the they are, but then again, if they're father, then they're kind of irrelevant anyway. Tranquilizer is gonna fire Luffy, but Luffy uses, I guess, what was it, the snake this one of the beast pirates was riding on. Luffy just kicks him straight into this, and he gets taken out. I mean, that's kind of disappointing. It comes in, it looks like he's about to attack, and you got the two beast pirates there, and like say, "Yo, kill Luffy already." I think it's Bobby Maru that does that, and then Luffy uses Conqueror's Haki to kick. I think a lot of people predicted that anyway, but wave off. Yo, I surrender. I surrender. Don't attack. And I think it's a devil fruit, right? Because the way it was described as well. Pulls part of a cheek off, and she actually gives it to Baboon as something to eat, right? And the translation is Kibo Dango, which means sweet dumpling made out of mochi. Have we seen that before? I think we have, right? So I think this has to confirm she's a devil fruit user. Question is she a paramecia at this point? And I do have some theories of how she got this. I think it's kind of obvious by the end of this chapter, but yeah, obviously Atama's coming in, actually trying to make friends with the. I don't know if it's something that Luffy did, but then she holds out her hand, and then for whatever reason, the Koichio ends up obeying her, like she's friends with her already. And Luffy's like she tamed that monster already. So I don't think that was any type of haki, but if it was, that was some slick stuff. And apart from the girl from Wano, powers do remind me of Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z. Just like the way she stretches a part of her skin, but I guess it could be similar to Karakuri. We've seen Karakuri do that as well, and use mochi to as earplugs, as well as block cannons on Capone's big father. So we've seen this before. So that it's kind of weird, but it's also kind of cool. It kind of makes me wonder because she wants to become a Kunoichi when she grows up. Can you imagine if she actually does some type of devil fruit awakening, or she uses haki? It'd be weird, to say the least. So, by the way, we do actually see one of the beast pirates while Luffy and Atama actually meeting one another. I guess they're becoming friends, and she already addresses Luffy as Big Brother, which is something very common in Japan. So, Oda sparing no expense on giving us not only the layout but also the culture of Japan. In this case, Wano. So that's kind of cool. But I wonder, because we see this beast pirate, I wonder if he's going to come back at some point. She's giving Luffy this bowl of rice, and I think that's tea that she's also serving with Luffy as well. It's obviously typical custom in Japan. And Luffy's like, "Aren't you going to eat?" And it's like, "No, I have to keep my figure in check to make sure I become a Kunoichi. My body needs to be very light," which is a complete lie, considering the fact that she lost most of her rice from those beast pirates. Also, or I could be wrong. But either way, he's got a long nose, kind of like Usopp, and he's reminiscent of Raizo. Only this time he's got an iron mask, so that's kind of cool. It's kind of wacky as well. He's got a katana. Before things go haywire, here comes Atama to explain the situation. To stop being hungry, or to stop stomach growling, I guess she drank the water that was outside, and we're going to find out that it's contaminated water thanks to Kaido's factory. Now, this can mean one of two things. I'm assuming it means it's zone type devil fruit users. So, say for instance, though it does have chemicals of devil fruits, right? Do you think it's possible that's how she attained the devil fruit? The powers of because we've seen two cases where unique situations where somebody has attained devil fruits. Blackbeard on Marineford ate Whitebeard's devil fruit. A lot of people don't know how he did that or how he managed that, but biologically, his body's completely different from any other in the One Piece world. But there is a theory that he ate Whitebeard's heart, which we couldn't find out may in fact be a part of that's where the devil fruit resides. So it would make sense. In Big Mom's case, a group of kids, her own friends, not to mention Mother Karma, and that's how she attained the devil fruit. So we've seen instances like this where people have attained devil fruits with unique methods. So this would not be a shocker, and it would be something very Kaido-esque when it comes to like how he operates. So, and you can see Luffy get pissed off. Now this is where the misleading part of the chapter ends up for me, because it says One Piece end. Then you get to the next page, which I was, again, shout out to Strange Spirit 1. Granted, we come to find out she was waiting for a certain pirate on the island, which why she hasn't left yet. And we come to find out it's Fire Fist Ace, which we know he was on one at one point. But the problem with that is she does. I guess she doesn't. This kind of confirms that this part of Wano doesn't get the news because she would have learned that Ace died during the Marine Flood. So, I mean, is Luffy actually going to break this to her that Ace is dead? Because he can't actually say, "Oh, I'm sure Ace will appear someday." And yeah, it's messed up. I'm guessing internally she's messed up from eating that contaminated water, drinking that contaminated water. And like I said during my live reaction, and I'm sticking to this, I could be wrong. Atama looks very reminiscent of the girl we see in the visual, where we could assume that's a shogun and that's a wife, right? It would make sense given the fact that Luffy's also a part of that visual. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of fun. They do look alike, so maybe she's the daughter of this woman in the visual. Again, she's a spitting image of Robin. So I'm sure that's all going to tie itself up at some point. Then we get to I guess one of the biggest plot points or big talking point of the Wano arc, and that's obviously seeing other members of the Worst Generation. In this case, it's Basil Hawkins, and it was mentioned during the chapter, and the Beast Pirates were in communication at that point with the headliner being Basil Hawkins. Motivations are because it's like, don't report this to Kaido-san, which is the complete opposite of what Scratch Manapoo did back with Zoe. If you remember what happened with Jack, our communication was cut off. Lord Kaido. So he was completely obedient. Basil Hawkins, not so much. So I definitely think it's going to play a role. But either way, it was a great chapter to get us introduced more to the layout and to the characters. In this case, there's going to be assisting Luffy. Where's Killer at? And we know where Kid's at. Does this mean Kid and Killer are also working under Kaido? So I can't wait to find that out. If we may end up seeing the Sanji and Co next because we need to know where they ended up. But all in all, I thought it was a decent chapter. Again, very misleading at the end. So shout out to Strange Spirit 1. Let me know about the extra page in this chapter. That's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. Like the review if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Bye.